taken 16 years, but Don Scott didn't realise what a fuss he was going to set in motion after wearing gloves first at a night game back in 1979. Now, after much debate, they've been given the thumbs up by the AFL, and subsequently, the distributors can't get enough of them, especially after last week's drenching. And given that green light, it's a fair bet that more and more players will be wearing them in the future. At least that's the projection of those in the know.
When I did introduce them in '92, a lot of people asked me how many people would end up wearing it, and I said within probably 5 years, 50 to 60% of all players would wear it.
Some of the game's biggest names could boost the numbers even further. They don't come any better credentialed than Gary Ablett and Brownlow medalist Jim Stynes.
I started wearing gloves back in '89, the Gaelic footy gloves, and then last year I got introduced to Easton's gloves. They've sort of made a few modifications to them, and I find them really good.
Some, like Footscray's Richard Osborne, look to the weather first.
I try them only in the wet, Pete, so obviously I can't comment on a dry day what they're like, but in the wet they're really good.
But off the field, they're still bringing controversy. Many claim they're too sticky, and the VSFL has now banned them altogether.
At the under-18 level, we think it's good enough to play with the bare hands for a start. Later on, gloves may come into play if you play at senior level.
Each time a modified glove comes out, we will re-look at the glove and look at the circumstances in using that glove.
Some players, too, wouldn't be unhappy if they were banished as well.
I believe that they shouldn't be worn, but that's my opinion, and a lot of players now are wearing them, so they obviously do some good. I'm just not a believer of them, that's all.
Of course, times do change. In the 70s, it wasn't even an issue. The greats from that era are glad of it.
If we wore them in our days, we would have been laughed off the oval.
Peter Landy, 7 Nightly News.